The main reason why we started the animal care program is to control the dog population. But at the same time, we have noticed that rabies used to be a big problem in the region. And we have heard many people dying of rabies. And even in Tibetan schools, some school children have died of rabid dog bites. So since 2007, we have been regularly organizing or observing World Rabies Day, and we have been regularly vaccinating as many dogs as we possibly can for around 10 days.
The 2013 ceremony at the charity's McLeod Ganj headquarters was held a day early because the school was closed on the 28th.
Good morning, respected Chief Guest Dr. Katoch.
Educating the public on the dangers and treatment of rabies has always been part of the annual drive. And apart from the speeches by the director and guest speakers, this year's ceremony included a health presentation by head nurse Tenzin Namsel. The vaccinations got underway as soon as the official proceedings were concluded. Dr. Casey Katoch, Assistant Director of the Animal Husbandry Department Dharamsala, gave the first injection to inaugurate the program, and the Tibet Charity team took over from there. Pet owners had been encouraged to bring their dogs to the ceremony to take advantage of the free vaccinations on offer. And in all, 64 dogs were vaccinated at the centre that day. The Tibet Charity TCACS vaccination team included all the staff from the animal clinic. Resident vet Dr. Dogpa Tanzan, head of the animal welfare section Lobsang Tukche, and paravet Jampa Damcho.
Before I was hired, they were only dependent on the foreign vet volunteers coming and practicing here. Now, Deb Jarrett, owner of Dharamshala Animal Rescue, she, she agreed to pay my salary to the Tibet Charity.
Accompanying them on the 10-day program this year were volunteer vet Vishan Prembaj from Malaysia, clinic trainee Kitu, and Domaboom, Tibet Charity Building Supervisor and veteran of many outreach programs.
Oh, there was a bite from this morning. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's like second dog of the morning. Yeah. Yeah, we've all been vaccinated, so yeah, we're all quite sick.
Because it's hard for them, so the dogs can be.
Yeah, they're not used to the contact sometimes, so they get a bit aggressive. Yeah.
How much time this program works?
Sorry?
5 years. 5 years.
5 years. Yeah. Every year it happens once.
Oh.
Yeah.
And there is a lot other injections or something else?
It's strictly rabies. Strictly rabies.
Because this is the most dangerous disease?
It's the main one that jumps between, because it's a strictly a mammal virus, so it only affects mammals, it doesn't affect reptiles and fish and amphibians. So it's the main one that will jump from a dog
to the human.
Yeah, and
so
it's like 100%.
Yeah.
And there's also cats?
Yes, we do the cats. If we
Cats
can
also?
catch the cats, we do the cats. If we can catch.
Yeah. No. Wait, मत करा. Yeah.
When the vaccination program started in 2007, it was only meant to cover the town of McLeod Ganj. But to protect the town, it was deemed necessary to vaccinate dogs in the adjacent villages too, because rabid animals could easily migrate from there into McLeod. Over the years, as more resources were made available, Tibet Charity expanded the area to include Indian villages and Tibetan schools, monasteries and settlements further afield, but all still within the Kangra district of Himachal Pradesh state, where McLeod Ganj itself lies. Among the educational institutions covered this year were the Sara College for Higher Tibetan Studies and the 2 local Tibet children's village schools, the Sherab Gatsal Ling Transit School for newcomers from Tibet, the Niang Tubling Tibetan Handicapped Children's Craft Home, and the TCV Handicraft Centre.
We are now in Upper TCV. Every year we come here to vaccinate the dogs because vaccinating the dogs in the institutions mainly where the children live is very important to protect them against the rabies. And there are lots of pet dogs also that has been kept by the students because they are quite a dog lovers.
So good.
Dog catcher.
Don't catch it. Don't catch your knee.
Today is holiday, Gandhi Jayanti, birthday of Gandhiji. That's why. So they are playing. They'll repeat to them. This is our most important spot where we have to show dogs are healthy because they gave us the clinic and they are our prime patients.
Lobsang Tukje, the head of TCACS, is in fact a monk, though he doesn't wear his monk's robes to carry out his duties for Tibet Charity. He maintains close contacts with fellow monastics in the religious institutions that the charity visits every year during the vaccination program. This year he took the team to the Gyuto Monastery, home of His Holiness the 17th Karmapa, Ogyen Trinley Dorje, and the Domaling, Shugseb, Jamyang Churling and Trilikpur nunneries.
This is Shusien Nunnery. Maybe 100-200 nuns lives here. Then just this morning we came here for the vaccination for the street dogs.
On the first day, the team visited the Suglakang complex in the heart of McLeod Ganj, home of the official residence of the Dalai Lama and some 200 monastics. Patience was needed. The team also made its regular visit to the renowned Nobelinka Institute of Tibetan Arts and Crafts, where, as at so many sites, a local official, in this case Mrs. Sering Dolka, assisted the team in finding the local dogs.
I'm working for Nobelinka And we do every year Tibet Charity come here and do dog vaccination and sterilization also. I just help them to catch the dogs. As I'm a local, I know most of the dogs, so they are much more friendly to me.
TCACS has also forged close ties with the Indian community over the years.
This is Telugu Nunnery, Kaju Nunnery. And then every year we come here for the rabies vaccine. Then we will vaccinate for the neighbors' dogs.
Going to the neighbour?
No, they bring here. They give the information, and then they'll come after 5 minutes.
इसका कट है नहीं इसका कट तो नहीं ना हो गया
Ako niya din. Kung hindi kaya ako dyan. Di sabang nga signature.
Yes, sir.
दो का इकट्ठा ना
हाँ
एक अलग है तीन का नहीं.
Among the Indian villages covered this year were Sidbury, Kanyara, Dharamkot and Baksunat. In the village of Rakar, a local Indian NGO called Nishta, who share Tibet Charity's concerns about rabies and canine health, brought together dog owners from outlying villages so that the Tibet Charity team could conveniently vaccinate the dogs in one session.
एक हफ्ते के बाद से शुरू हो जाता है.
My name is Varun. I'm just member of this Ashray Nisha community, and just we are keeping a dog program over here. We are going to vaccination all the dogs of our village and communities, and so we are just run some about 10 to 12. We have operated just about 10 to 12 dogs over here, and just I have noted down right down here all the name of the owners of the pets, the village names of the owners of pets, and the genders of the pets.
We are working on education and environment. We are also running our dog sterilization and vaccination program with Tibet Charity. Every week we are sending 2 stray dogs up for sterilization. Yeah, so population is really growing of the children, of the dogs, and nobody is taking really care of them. So we are trying to reduce the number of the dogs and give them a good life, make them healthy. Most of the dogs in the village are stray, but they just lie down in the nearby houses. So they get used to the family, and then family is bringing them. And so we are making sure that they are vaccinated properly, so that the danger of rabies will reduce.
For the most part, the team made their way on foot. It was the only practical way to cover the ground. They parked up in the new location and then headed off after they'd loaded up with supplies.
We have water.
The steep climbs and narrow alleyways of McLeod tested their fitness. Like soldiers in the field, the team restocked on ammunition as they went along. The injections themselves take only seconds to administer and cause no lasting pain or discomfort.
If we can do just rub on the back, then just we inject. Then they have no feel. It is really easy to inject.
Well, obviously, with most dogs, it's best the faster you do the shot, the better. Because if you take too long, then most of the guys who help us out, who are helping catch the dogs, are trying to get their trust as much as possible. But sometimes that doesn't work too well. So you've got to try and give it as fast as possible. But you've got to make it as painless as possible as well. Because the moment they feel the prick, they're going to start losing all that trust and they're going to start retaliating, and it's going to make it a lot more difficult as well.
Many dogs are friendly and cooperative, and the vaccinations go smoothly. But the stray dogs, who have no friendly contact with people in their day-to-day lives, are almost impossible to catch. Even domestic dogs can fly into a panic as the team close in on them. The vets hope that the animals will get to know them and trust them when they return the following year.
2 years ago, she got a fracture of her leg, and then she come to clinic. And then she stayed maybe more than 2 months in the clinic. 2 years ago, still she know me. She remember me very well.
But there are always new dogs to deal with. The vets have a variety of ways to deal with them.
Okay, baby. Sorry.
Scared, huh? Yeah. You have a towel? Towel.
Arzu Krishna's
No.
Okay, finish.
प्यार से हो जाएगी आइसक्रीम Ice cream.
Nani nggak silakan dia?
Ice cream.
Chocolate.
Nice one.
The real challenge is in actually capturing the dogs and then holding them still long enough for the vets to do their job.
This is the only thing that we used while going for anti-rabies vaccination. It is called a dog catcher, and some people also call it pig catcher. We put the head of the dog inside this, and from here we just tied it up like this, and then we push it on the ground, and then the other person will go from behind and just vaccinate it from the behind. This is how we restrain a savage dog. If you want to release a dog, just there is a hook. We just pull it backwards, and this thing opens, and you can see the dog can be easily released.
Okay.
It is impossible to get a dog like this, you know. If we have we got a net, it has a bigger circle, so we might, catch the dog. There is a lot of more bigger chance. But the whole of that dog catcher is this much. We might restrain a dog, but we cannot catch the dog.
She was walking around with a stick and she was rubbing all the dogs in the back, and all these dogs were following her. This was near the temple, and she's walked all the way up here, and all these dogs are just following her.
Some might call it crazy, some might call it
I call it crazy love. See, he just bit that guy. He bit the motorcyclist. See his foot, look at his foot. He bit the dog, bit the guy. The same dog that bit me, bit him, bit his foot.
TCACS meets less resistance these days from townsfolk and villagers than when the program first began. People trust the vets now, having seen them in previous years, and having interacted with them at the animal clinic whenever they bring their pets in for treatment.
Like which limb?
This one here, just down the back. And he doesn't like anyone, if I blow on it.
I tell them just if the dogs will not the vicinity, then the dog is really dangerous for your family or then your neighbors and your villagers. And then one dog become the rabies, then definitely around 10 dogs will be rabies. Then it's really dangerous for all the villagers. They know the vaccination is just stopped the rabies here. So that's why they really help us.
They save the vets a considerable amount of time and risk by restraining dogs while the vets vaccinate and mark them. And by leading the team to the local strays. In its everyday operation, Tibet Charity Animal Care Section offers free consultations to everyone, Tibetan and Indian alike.
Dog's just got a ear problem, so we're just writing some prescription. When you put the drops, massage the ear, just press in the ear a bit, so that it goes in.
There is medicine for stray dogs, but pet owners must buy their own drugs. Wherever they go, the vets tend to the sick animals that they come across. They carried this spirit into the outreach program, examining sick dogs as they move through the villages.
Its hip has been dislocated.
And where further specialized examination was needed, referring owners to local vets and animal hospitals.
और हो सके तो एक एक्सरे लगा के किसी हमारा क्लिनिक तो काफ़ी दूर है, पालमपुर नज़दीक नहीं पड़ेगा।
आप कहाँ से आए?
शाहपुर नज़दीक पड़ेगा ना?
तो शाहपुर ले जाओ, पहले एक्सरे करवा दो।
चलो जी।
बाद में डॉक्टर भी अच्छा वाला डॉक्टर है।
ठीक है शाहपुर। चलो जी।
सस्ता भी पैसा भी नहीं लेते हैं, बहुत कम लेते हैं।
मैं लगाता हूँ।
In some cases, the vets made a commitment to return at a later date and to carry out the treatment themselves.
Was the tumor? We decided to amputate it. I gave that responsibility to the other ranger.
Okay.
Now she is saying that they didn't came to look at it.
So the tumor is still there, growing.
Yeah, it is growing. Now we have to amputate it, but the problem is they can't bring it down, and we can't come up with the ambulance.
먼저 가르쳐 줬으나 아니 키다고딘 박수로 킬레나 킬레체 아니 먼저 뭐라디 아니 팔량아 두레 킬레 아니 먼저 킬레 뭐르 나올라 아니 키다나 아니 먼저 데 맹갈 킬레나 먼저 코 임포트 체레스 임포트 체사나 먼저 데 다와하스 데 냐디레스 마타보도.
It's just a superficial injury, so it should heal pretty well. It's just under the hock. Just like probably from a dog bite or something like that. But it looks like it's healing quite well, no signs of infection and things. That's the good thing about these street dogs, they're quite hardy.
2 syringes.
The funding for the vaccines, as usual, comes from the Brigitte Bardot Foundation France, who have funded the animal care section since it started in 2006. This year, 861 dogs were successfully vaccinated, the highest total since the program began.
And then I was talking to Tenzin, and Tenzin said that we're actually covering more areas this year compared to last year. So that's why there's a larger number of dogs. Technically, because of the ABC, the Animal Birth Control Program, there should be less animals that we are vaccinating. But because we're covering a bigger area, so there are more animals this year than last year.
The annual vaccination program continues to be highly effective in protecting the human population. Not a single person in the treated area has contracted rabies since the vaccinations began in 2007.